What up, good people? Oh, it's been a day. A great, beautiful day, but it's been a day. But I was just walking and meditating on something that I read yesterday, which was John 17, which talks about, oh wow, which talks about the prayer of intercession. And in it, there were a few things that stood out to me. The biggest thing that stood out to me was it highlights how Jesus did not intercede for the world. He interceded for the people that God had assigned to him, who would be able to see and understand that it was God who sent him. He interceded for those people. And he also interceded for the people who would come to him through the word or testimony of the people that God had, naturally assigned to him. And that stood out to me because having a good heart, you want everybody to be covered, right? Intercession, to me, from my understanding, it's another form of covering somebody. When you call in and you're on the prayer line and you're asking for prayer, the person that is interceding or praying for you is essentially establishing a covering over you to send your concern up to God. And so it was very interesting to me that Jesus did not intercede for the world. He interceded for the people that God assigned to him. Another thing that stood out to me in reading that was, you go out all throughout the Bible and you see that it was always these crowds around Jesus. And it was because of his intercession. In his intercession, he prayed that his people would stay close to him. And I was laughing as I was walking because, the people that stayed close to Jesus, one, they were able to, filter through the parables that he spoke in, right? Because Jesus spoke in parables. It wasn't always clear or direct. He spoke in parables. Even when it came to, people criticizing him and judging him, he spoke in riddles. You couldn't understand what he was talking about. He spoke in riddles. You had to really sit and think about what he just said. That's how, the Pharisees ended up getting mad when he was doing certain miracles or performing certain acts, because they was like, is he saying that he's the Messiah? And he was basically like, you will see. He didn't say yes. He didn't say no. He said pretty much basically, you'll see. And so it's funny because one of the old moms I used to converse with, older African lady, she would always tell me that, and I love her. I still love her. But she would tell me, when you love someone or when you like someone, you come close to them, right? You don't stay far away. You go close to them. And the reason I'm laughing is because sometimes you go away from a person and they don't get the message. But what I love about it in relation to John 17 is that Jesus' prayer was that the people that God had for him to intercede over or to cover, he prayed that they would stay close to him. And so, that to me reveals why the crowds are always around Jesus. They were the people that he was there to cover. Of course, yeah, they wanted to see the miracles and different things, but he prayed for his people to stay close to him, right? The people that you love, the people that you're there to care for, they stay close to you. And so I thought, it was pretty good to read that, because when you're a person who you want to see change in the world, everybody don't want that. A lot of people don't want change. And even if Jesus understood that everybody could have been saved, but they didn't want to be saved, just like in the Bible, it talks about how there were more people that could have been saved, but they weren't because God had blinded their eyes. And so essentially, they weren't saved. And so, I don't know if this is a sweater or what, looking like it. It's kind of similar, right? He knew he was not called to intercede for the entire world, because he knew the entire world essentially was not his direct assignment. Some people are blind to what it is you're trying to do, and they just won't get it. And that's okay, because according to John 17, we're still called to intercede for those that God has assigned to us. And hopefully those that God is assigning to you will have ears to hear and eyes to see exactly what it is you're saying, so they don't miss the message and assume that you're always talking about self. Like, even when I listen to other people talk, you can tell sometimes it's evident when people are not genuinely talking about themselves, because they'll have this like sarcasm to something when they are trying to highlight something else that somebody else does that they might not do. And bless their heart. But you can tell. And you can also tell when someone is sharing, hopefully you can tell when someone is sharing the story with you, to where you are able to still receive meat from it. If not, unfortunately, that just might not be your person, and that is also okay. And so I said all that to say, we are called to a people, and those people we cover, those people we intercede for, and the people that are for you will stay close to you. If that's what you pray for them to stay close to you, they will be close to you. So just like when God covers you, he's close to you. He's close to you. But another thing that I loved about John 17 and the prayer of intercession is it also kind of talked about like the benefits of staying close to your covering. There's benefits to that. So when you're away from your covering, when you're not close to your covering, you miss out on the benefits that are attached to it. I don't know, but some of you are wanting that close relationship with Jesus, and you can have it, but you have to make sure that you have ears to hear, and eyes to see what it is that he's showing and telling you. And so the people you intercede for, essentially you are covering them. The people that intercede for you are essentially covering you. So when done well, there's benefits. And you can go read John 17 if you want to. But another tidbit is, when people are not for you, you don't keep them close. And when you claim that you let somebody go, let them go. Don't keep them at an eye's distance. Just let them go. And that part, all of that part, was definitely about me. But if you listen to everything else I just said, for a multiple 2-hour trip. If you listen to everything I just said and felt like all of that was about me, then you might want to study, or not even study, but it just might be evident that you're missing the meat of what I'm saying, and you're probably not my people. And that's okay. That means somebody else is supposed to be covering you, and you'll figure out who that is.